Hello all, welcome back students. So if you remember in the previous chapter of strings in Python, we discussed some inbuilt string functions. If you remember, some of the functions were length, upper, lower, is digit, is alpha, is upper, is lower. So those were all the inbuilt functions of string. Similarly, in every structure of Python that we study, there will be inbuilt functions. There were inbuilt functions for string. There will be inbuilt functions of list. In the next chapter, we will have inbuilt functions of tuple, inbuilt functions of dictionary. So whenever any structure we are studying in Python, there are always inbuilt functions associated with the same. Now, first of all, what are the use of these inbuilt functions? Now we are discussing about list, so I will talk specifically about list only. Inbuilt functions of list allow us to perform operations on a list. Now if you have not forgotten, I in the previous week recorded a video where we were specifically discussing about list operations only. So if I am not wrong, some of the operations were concatenation, membership testing, I think then replication or repetition, then I think traversing, slicing. These were of the operations. So inbuilt functions, now first of all again be clarified, inbuilt functions means these functions are readily available with Python, we just have to use the same, correct? Okay, so let us start with one by one with all the inbuilt functions that are possible. In maybe this video I will list down all the inbuilt functions, and then video by video we will go for explanation of all of them. The first, foremost and the most important inbuilt function for list is append. I will explain all of them one by one. I am just listing down all the inbuilt functions that are possible. Second one is insert. Third one, if I am not wrong, is extend. Next one we have, I think, index, correct? Next one I think we can have, I am not very sure whether it will work or not, but if it is there in the text we will use the same. One more we are having, that is, again I am not sure this will work or not because that depends on versions of Python, but the last few are definitely to work, that is pop, and I think one is remove. Okay, so these are by far all the inbuilt functions that are possible for a operation, doing operations on the list. I am skeptical about this too, whether this will work or not, because we are in which version of Python? We are in version of Python 2.7, and I think these two methods will be applicable from 3.0 version of Python, but that 3.0 is not an official part of our syllabus. So we will just try about this too. If it is working, that is well and good. If it is not working, we will only know what is the meaning of this. Okay, because I remember from last year maybe these two were not working. Okay, maybe. Fine. So students, in this video, I listed down all the, you can say, inbuilt functions that are possible for a list. Okay. Now, fact check. The fact is, in 12th standard, we will be studying, I am not going for the topic, we will be studying data structures. Okay. That is totally different. Now there will be different kinds of data structures. A name, even if I take the name, that will be not worthful now. That is nothing for you to understand now. But in doing all the programs of data structure, list will be the major, will be playing a extremely major role. Okay. So I am not telling students remember string. String is very easy. I will even not tell in the next chapter the students remember tuple and dictionary very well. That you have to remember, because again, as I told you time and again, that one part of 11th standard is unit number 1 of 12th standard for 10 to 12 marks. But I will specially put emphasis on list, because same structure will come in 12th standard in different programming approach. So if you understand working of a list, then those things will be ultimately easier for you. Simple words I am talking with you. Okay. And out of that, this is a method which will be extra useful in everything. Now after I complete this video in append method, then instead of using the normal method to you can say enter elements in a list, we will make use of this method. Fine, let's start with this. In this video I will be only discussing about append method. Okay, and I think this week we can try up to this. Fine, I want to have a dedicated session on these two methods, so I will take this next week. And for your reference, these two methods are used for deleting elements from a list. Okay, these two methods are used for deleting elements from a list, that I will take up in next week. This week I will be covering till this much. Okay, so in this video let us start with append. First of all, what is the use of append function? Append function will allow us to insert elements in a list one by one. Okay, very useful function. You can write these things that I am mentioning in your notebook, students, later on with examples, so that all things are there with you in case you have not started writing. Okay, I felt you are grown up children and you need not be told that please write in notebook, but now I am officially telling please write in notebook, because 12th standard you have to refer to 11th standard only. So if notebook and written content is there, that would be ultimately easier for you. Okay, so append method will allow us to insert elements one by one in a list. So let us see all the cases. Till now we were inserting elements like this. Okay, till now we were inserting elements like this. I hope I am not wrong. List was coming properly. But there was one problem in this. I am not involving the user here. There was a problem. Problem was I am not involving the user here. Involving the user means I am not taking input from the user. Remember, the ultimate goal of Python program should be taking some input from the user when the program is executing. But here I was giving static input every time. Okay, so this is where the append method will come ultra useful. Append method means what? It will insert elements in a list one by one. Let us see how it works. I will first of all show you the basic way. I have created a blank list. M dot append 1. Now if I run it, you will see that 1 is inserted. One element at a time. Okay, I am just showing you the basic, then I will directly, you can say, run into the method by which we can insert elements one by one directly from the user. I am just showing you the basic. As you can see, first 1 is inserted, then 11 is inserted, and one specific thing I would like to talk, that is all elements are added at the last. At the last means first 1 is inserted, then 11 is inserted. So for first 1 will come, then 11 will come, then 99 will come, and all elements will be inserted at the last. Correct? Fine. So this is how we insert elements in a list one by one using the append method. But now comes the fact check. We need more generalized approach. I need more sophisticated approach to deal with list. Sophisticated approach means I will ask the user, okay, bhaiya, how many elements would you like to enter in the list? Okay, user will enter, I want 5 elements to be entered in the list. My program should ask for input 5 times. My program should ask for input 5 times. And once my program is asking for input 5 times, then all the 5 elements should be entered into the list. Correct. So what is the method to do so? Let us see, and students, please make sure that whatever method I am doing through now or going through now, this will now be the official method every time to insert elements in a list. Okay, till now I have not given you any program also where you are taking input of elements from the list from the user. So this will be the official method from now onwards to insert elements in a list for every program, okay, that we are doing after this for list. So what is the basic method? I have created a blank list, correct? I will ask the user that sir or madam I will not write, please tell us how many elements would you want in the list. Okay, so enter number of elements in list. Correct? Now suppose user will enter 5. So my program should ask for input from the user 5 times. Suppose user is entering 5. So my program should ask for input from the user 5 times. Now what is the best technique? Shall I write 5 times? No, not a time. If the user enters 10, so shall I write 10 times? Not a chance. So I will make use of one of our beloved structures, that is called loop. For I in range, okay, 0 comma n. I in range 0 comma n. Now I would like to again explain why I took 0 comma n and what else I can take. Please. Let us suppose user is entering 5. Correct. So I want my loop to be executed how many times? 5 times. Suppose user is entering 5. So I want my loop to be executed 5 times. So how this range works? 0 comma 5. 0 first time input, 1 second time input, 2 third time input, 3 fourth time input, 4 fifth time input, and at 5 the loop will terminate. So technically the program or loop will run for 5 times. This is one approach. Another approach can be this: 1 comma n plus 1. I want my loop to run 5 times, whatever is the case. Now 0 comma n will run 5 times, thinking that user is entering 5. Let us check. First value will be 1. Remember, what is the value of n? 5. So my loop will be 1 comma 6. Remember, what is the value of n? Value of n is 5. Example. So my loop will be 1 comma 6. So how many times it will execute? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And whenever 6 is encountered, my loop will terminate. So again it will ask me for the input 5 times. Correct? So you have two options. Either you can take 0 comma n. I told you here what will be our range. Our range will be 0 comma 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again you can see that it is asking for input 5 times. Whenever 5 will be encountered, my loop will terminate. So my only intention is my loop should be asking for input 5 times. So either you can take 0 comma n or you can take 1 comma n plus 1. Simple. Fine. I am asking the user for the element. Say A. We are thinking that user will enter number only. Enter element. Okay, so user will ask for the element. Now what shall I do for each element? Please read the definition. Append method will allow us to insert elements one by one. One by one. What shall I do for the element? What is the element? Element is A. Okay. What is the syntax? Syntax, I think I missed up. I showed the example. What is the syntax? Syntax means set of rules. List name dot append, and in bracket we should have the element. This is the syntax. List name bracket, list name dot append, and along with append in bracket we should have the element. So same thing we will do here. List name. What is the list name? M dot append. I should enter in bracket the element. Where is the element? Element is coming in this variable A. Correct? Okay. And once everything is done, I will come outside the loop. I will print a message. List is, and what is the name of the list? M. Okay. Let us try to understand what happens. Let us try to understand before I actually run the program. I have executed the program. Blank list is created. Suppose user is entering n equal to 4. So how many times my loop will execute? My loop will execute obviously 4 times. First element asked. I am entering 11. M dot append 11. What is entered in the list? 11. Second time loop will execute. I am entering 13. M dot append 13. What is entered in the list? 13. Initially in the list 11 was there. Append will make sure that 11 stays there and 13 is added after 11. So I would just like to amend the definition. Will allow us to insert the element one by one in a list. If you want, you can just write a message that old elements in just I would like to write a message that if elements are there already in the list, new element will be added at the last. Okay, suppose I told you that if 11 is there and I am entering 13, then 11 will stay and 13 will be added after that. Let us rerun this virtually. N is for first input, I am entering 11. M dot append 11. So list now has 11. Second input 13. 13 I entered. M dot append 13. So 11 comma 13. Third input 19. M dot append 19, 11 comma 13 comma 19. Fourth input 25. Fourth input 25. M dot append 25, 11 comma 13 comma 19 comma 25. Once 5 come here, loop will terminate. What are the list? 11 comma 13 comma 19 comma 25, that will be printed. This is how we will be dealing with the things. Let us run and let us hope our thing works. Enter number of elements in the list. I want 8 elements. Let us say 12, 17, 23, 34, 21, 98, 0, 11. Exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 inputs it is asking, and as you can see, properly all the 8 elements are entered into the list. Students, take care that from now onwards, if I give any program of list I give now onwards, forget this method. This method means this one that I am typing. Forget this method. This is old outdated method only for teaching you. Okay, now onwards every program I give, this should be the approach from your side. You should ask the user that please tell us how many elements would you like in the list. आप होटल में जाते हो तो ऐसे ही आपके प्लेट पे ऐसा नहीं कि 10-15 रोटी रख के चले जाते हैं, ठीक है. दे आर आस्किंग यू दैट हाउ मेनी यू वांट, ओके, हाउ मेनी थिंग्स यू वांट, व्हाट थिंग्स यू वांट. The same thing, na, we are developing a program, we are software programmers, we will not hard code that I will direct always enter 1 2 3 4 5. We should ask how many elements you want, we should ask which elements you want, okay, and we should enter the elements one by one. That is why I was waiting till now in this chapter. I was waiting for these inbuilt functions, because this is the most important inbuilt function, append. It will add one element to the list one by one, and please make sure of this line that if originally elements are there in the list, the new elements will be added at the last. Okay, added at the last, not at the list, added at the last. Correct? Please practice this up. I would like to explain once again this thing. I am asking the user how many elements. I am executing the loop that many number of times. I am asking for the element and I am going on appending the element one by one. And one mistake that students can do, actually not a very big mistake, that they can do like this. Here what I have done, I have entered the print statement inside the loop. Okay. This is also working, but this will give me an odd thing. Suppose I want 5 elements. Let us see. 34. It will immediately give me the list. This can also be done. 23, 12, 23, 33. This can also be done, but I more prefer that user should be first asked all the elements, then all together list must be displayed. That I want. So that is why I took this print statement outside the loop. I hope you understand outside the loop. If it is here, you see the color changes. If it is here, purple color, don't go for color code. Huh? If it is here, that means it is in line of loop. That means it is inside the loop. If it is here, color changes, don't go for the color. It is outside the loop. Okay. So that was the first inbuilt function for a list, that is append method. Go to through the same. Practice this at your residence and have command over this method of directly asking the user how many elements he want and entering the elements one by one. Okay. So students, that would be all for from my side for this video. In the next video, we will try for explaining the use of insert function. Thank you and have a nice day.